On World IP Day, we celebrate the women who work at Innovation Asset Collective by sharing their experiences in IP. These women are engineers, lawyers, business development professionals, and project managers. And while they each have a unique entry into the field, many of their experiences overlap.
I did not necessarily choose a career in IP to get into.
I did engineering physics in undergrad, and about halfway through the program, I realized that I did not want to be an engineer.
I like to call my career in IP my accidental career in IP.
I was first introduced to IP when I worked as a paralegal in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Started off as a research associate in the IP group of an Indian firm.
I remember I had 2 offers. One was for a regular engineer position at Nortel, and the other was for a patent agent trainee. And to me, it was a no-brainer. It sounded so much more exciting to be involved in all kinds of different innovation.
I knew a little bit about intellectual property, but I didn't know so much more. 10 years fast forward now.
I jumped at it. It seemed like a great opportunity. And if I didn't like it, I figured I could pivot and do something else. And 20 plus years later, I'm still here.
Initially, it was all very exciting, lots of things to learn. I quickly realized how competitive and cutthroat that environment was, especially for a young, inexperienced woman.
Culturally, the legal profession at that time, despite the growing female presence, still contained a little bit of this old boys atmosphere.
I wouldn't see someone like myself as a CEO or a VP.
It was really difficult to find female mentors to look up to.
You found that a few that were in prominent roles, but you couldn't reach them to be mentored by them or to be guided by them.
I think that does create barriers.
As a new immigrant with foreign legal and IP credentials, there were many barriers and hurdles to overcome.
You need some time to get used to just being in a new country. A lot of things come with that.
On top of that, I had to juggle responsibilities of a family with little or no support network in Canada.
It's really hard to find people that will take the time and train you.
Over time, I learned to find allies and work with mentors, and I found that really, really beneficial.
As you sort of rose through the ranks, you got recruited to attend more and more like business development style things. They wanted a presence on webinars, a presence on panels.
Rather than me getting that mentoring from someone on how to move forward with IPs, I was being able to advise and counsel other women that are starting up with their business in IP. So it was a reverse role.
The women mentors I've found are so fierce about dragging women up behind them, making sure that there's a place for everyone at the table.
I feel that I was fortunate to grow up surrounded by very strong and courageous women.
I really try to get involved. I'm a big believer in giving back.
Pick out the people who will invest in you. Just connecting yourself to the right people.
And I always try to think of the fact that I always have 15 minutes of time to give if someone wants to have a conversation.
I was able to sort of get that message across to some of these women, and for these women to actually take that advice and have grown and have been successful, and they've protected their rights and intellectual property.
To do IP well in a business, you have to be service oriented. It's a service industry. It serves the business. It's not to be siloed.
Diversity of thought and thinking is just so critically important. And women just by nature, and I see it in my own house, which is a house full of boys, I just think differently. I'll approach problems differently.
Our waves are getting shorter for innovation, meaning it's happening more often. And so we need to be very fast to adjust to change. This is our reality now.
We are trying to solve big problems with science and technology, make the world a better place for everyone. So I don't see how we can do that if we don't value the diversity or leverage the diversity that women bring to the table, or even other minority groups bring to the table.
When one person speaks, it's very difficult for an entire profession to hear the message. But the more of us that are out there, then our voices together will be much louder and will just make a more significant impact.
To always stand your ground and to stay true to yourself, but also if you're able to, build a community around you that's positive.
I think we need to raise girls to be more confident, to be more assertive, and lead by example.
If I don't explain or if I don't speak up and if I don't believe in that, there is no one else to do that for you.
If you're not loving what you do, don't be afraid to pivot, because you've still benefited from the experience. You've still had this opportunity to engage with something, and learning what you don't like is almost as important as learning what you love.
I think in general, what makes this field very interesting, at least the patent side, every case that you see is new. It's something groundbreaking. That's what makes it exciting. Every day you're going to see something that is that no one has done before.
As we celebrate the women who make our industry thrive, we acknowledge that recognition should not end today. Diverse voices, opinions, and experiences make the IP ecosystem stronger.